Hey guys, welcome you all in T3P Technology to the Point. This is the part 3A of Azure Fundamental Concept series. In this video, we are going through the core solutions what we have in Azure Fundamentals. As you know that from September onwards, the content has been changed and now they introduce few more new services. So this belongs to that particular section. So let's see what we have. So these are the exam topics what we have for this exam. We have already covered two sections in our part 1 and part 2, and in this section we will talk about the core solution. We will not talk about the Azure management tools, that we will talk about in next section. So let's see what are these we have. So if we will talk about the core solution what we have in Azure, here they will talk about the IoT related stuff like IoT Hub, IoT Central and Azure Sphere. Then we have the Azure Snaps Analytics, HD Insight and Azure Databricks. So it is the related to the analytics. Then we have the Azure Machine Learning, Cognitive Search, and Azure Bot Service. We will see one by one each and every services. Then we will talk about the serverless computing, and then we will talk about the Azure DevOps services. So let's start it. The first section. So as we already discussed that we are going to cover these all in this video. So first we have what is Azure IoT. So before understand what exactly the Azure IoT is, let's understand the term IoT. What exactly the IoT is? IoT is a general term that refers to a system of interrelated and internet connected objects. As now you know that there are many smart devices available, either if you go with the Google inbuilt or Siri, or you have the Alexa. Might be you heard of these things, right? So these are the smart devices. These are based on IoT only. So these are interrelated and interconnected devices that, but these devices are able to collect and transfer data over a wireless network, and we don't require any human intervention to collect and transfer the data. It can be done by these devices. So these are the devices, are the IoT devices. Okay, now let's talk about the Azure IoT. Azure IoT is a collection of managed and platform services across edge and cloud that connect, monitor, and control billions of IoT assets. Where they are talking about the IoT assets, these are the smart devices which we already discussed about. Okay, so that Azure IoT includes security and operating systems for the devices and the equipment. That means it's talk about everything. Means when we are talking about Azure IoT, it's a collection of managed platform services. That means it includes the security, it includes the operating system of these devices, also with data and the analytics that helps our business to build or deploy, or we can say manage IoT application. So this is what we have here about the Azure IoT. So let's talk about the components. There are three components belongs to Azure IoT. First is things, then is insight, then is access. So what are the things actually? Things are physical objects, that means the smart devices such as industrial equipment, devices, or sensors that connect to the cloud persistently or immediately. Okay, so whatever devices we have, suppose we have Alexa. Okay, so this is the smart device that connects to the cloud here. Okay, it is capable to send data and receive the data from the cloud. So this is the device that connects to the cloud. Okay, what after this we have insight. That means information collected by the things. It collects the information which is analyzed and turned into actionable knowledge either by people or AI. Either it will use the AI or the people. Whoever gives the command, it will receive that command and accordingly it will react. React in the sense it will take action. The way people respond to those insights and connect them to their business as well as systems and tool they use. So on the basis of information people give to these smart devices, these devices will take the action. So this is all about the Azure IoT. Let's see. But here in Azure we have Azure IoT Hub. So what is exactly the Azure IoT Hub? Azure IoT Hub is a managed service for bi-directional communication between IoT devices and Azure. As I told, this is, suppose this is our smart device, and here we have Azure Cloud. So Azure IoT Hub is a managed service for this bi-directional connection between the Azure and the IoT devices. This Azure IoT Hub provides a cloud hosted solution backend to connect virtually any devices. So it will help us to prepare or build a solution, or it's known as a backend solution for these devices through which this devices connects. So from IoT Hub, we can send a message to the devices. From this IoT Hub, we can send the send the messages. Also, we can receive the messages from the smart devices. So when we are talking about Azure IoT Hub, it also follows some protocols. What are those protocols? It can HTTPS, AMQP, over WebSockets. Then we have MQTT, and in the last we have MQTT over WebSockets. Why I'm writing here? You can also follow the Azure website where you will get it, but sometimes we can get these questions that what are the protocol Azure IoT Hubs follows. So you should remember these things. Also, it is having some SLA as well. So Azure IoT Hubs provide SLA of 99.9%. So this is the SLA, and there is some quota limit as well. The current limit is 50 IoT Hub per Azure subscription. 15 IoT Hub per subscription. That means within a subscription we can create up to 50 IoT Hubs. Let's talk about next topic, Azure IoT Central. So IoT Central is a IoT application platform that reduces the burden and cost of developing, managing and maintaining enterprise grade IoT solutions. So it helps us to prepare the IoT solutions. See, more things need to understand. This is the SaaS offering, that means software as a service offering. Like we have seen the IoT Hub. Here we don't have to create any Azure resources to use IoT Central. In IoT Hub we require some resources to create IoT Hub, but here we can directly access this IoT Central through browser. So if we want to summarize this Azure IoT Central, that is a fully managed global IoT SaaS services or SaaS solution that make it easy to connect, monitor and manage our IoT assets. Okay, Azure IoT Central is highly secure, scale, that means it is enterprise grade, and it's a predictable pricing and industry focus. So these are the key features about the IoT Central. What are those? Highly secure, enterprise grade, predictable pricing and industry focus. The SLA for this one is same like IoT Hub we have 99.9%. And accessibility, like we can access Azure IoT Central using desktop, tablets, or any devices which supports browsers. So even from the mobiles also we can use the Azure IoT Central component. Let's talk about the next service, that is Azure Sphere. Azure Sphere is a secured, high-level application platform with built-in communication and security feature for internet-connected devices. So it is a secured, high-level application platform which has inbuilt communication and security feature for the internet-connected devices. That means they are talking about the IoT devices here. What does that mean? That you know that IoT devices are similarly to the computing device, okay, that runs software that's designed for a specific purpose, right? So if any device that is running through the software, so there are an high chances that there can be a bug. So IoT devices are not different from the normal computing devices. So we have many advantage of these devices, but there are few disadvantage as well. What are those? The hackers can get access or control to these devices if we have some loopholes in it. So for that purpose, so there are many security risks, right, with using these smart devices, because it is connected through the internet. Sometimes might be possible that hacker can have control on our communication what we are having from the Azure devices to the cloud, so they can control these devices as well. To address these security issues, Microsoft developed this Azure Sphere. I hope now it is clear to you. It is for the security purpose that reduce the security risk for the IoT devices. So whenever they will talk about the security of IoT devices, we need to choose Azure Sphere whenever they will ask in the question. Let's talk about next service, that is Azure Synapse Analytics. If you will talk about in general, Azure Synapse Analytics is a limitless analytics service that brings together data integration, enterprise data warehousing, and big data analytics. So what Azure Synapse Analytics do? It gives us the freedom to query data on our terms. Either we want to run this on serverless or on dedicated resources. It's our choice, whatever we want to use it. Azure Synapse run in an Azure Synapse cluster. A cluster is a combination of four different components. What are these components? Because it can be asked in the exam that what are the components belong to Azure Synapse Analytics. Then the components are Synapse SQL, Apache Spark integration, data integration of Spark and Azure Data Lake storage, and the fourth component is a web-based user interface called Azure Synapse Studio. So the interface which is given by the Azure for this particular Azure Synapse and Analytics, that is known as Azure Synapse Studio. So you need to remember this thing as well. Let's talk about next service, HD Insight. So HD Insight makes it possible to easily create and manage clusters of computers on a common framework designed to perform distributed processing of big data. In short, if we will talk about HD Insight, it processes massive amount of data with managed cluster of Hadoop cluster in the cloud. So HD Insight is a Microsoft managed service. Okay, it is provided by Microsoft. It's a Microsoft managed service that provides a cloud based implementation of a popular data analytics platform like Hadoop. In general, we have Hadoop who do this uh, data analytics at larger scale. So from the Microsoft side, it's a HD Insight. So Hadoop is the another form of HD Insight. So an HD Insight cluster performs analytics by breaking up large data blocks into segments that are then handled off to nodes within the cluster. So what it do, it if you have large data block, okay. So HD Insight breaks the data into blocks segments, and then it is sent. Suppose we have the cluster, okay, Hadoop cluster, that is the master node we have. Then we have the node, worker node kind of. So what it do, HD Insight, it breaks this data into small blocks, data blocks we can say, and these segments sends to this one for the processing of these data. This is what the task of HD Insight. I hope you it is clear to you. If we will talk about the exam perspective, you need to understand what actually it do and what are the function of this HD Insight. We no need to go in much detail about these services. We just need to understand what are the function it do in perspective to this agent 900 exam. Let's talk about next. Now we will talk about the Azure Databricks. What it do? Azure Databricks integrate collaborative Apache Spark based analytics service with other big data services in Azure. I remember that there was one question where it was asked that which is true or false, that where they will talk about the Apache Storm, not the Apache Spark. So whenever we need to think about the Databricks, that is Apache Spark. Now understand what happens in Azure Databricks and how it helps. So normally we have for data analytics, we store data in data warehouse or data lakes. So whatever data we store in these two places, which is used for analytics purpose, it's often unstructured or that is difficult to consume. That means we are having the raw data in this storage, and there might be possible or that's a need that we store this data, or we can say the collect these data from multiple sources. We can have multiple sources to get these data and store in these stored devices, or we can say the stored services. Then Azure Databricks is ideal solution for accumulating these data, whatever data we are gathering inside these resources. So Azure Databricks, what it do, it's an ideal solution for accumulating these data and for forming the data, so it can be used optimally for machine learning models. Okay, so whatever data we are getting here, it will accumulate that data, makes it sensible, then we can use that particular data in machine learning module. So the modules can learn from the data what we stored or we gathered through these services, and these data whatever is stored in this data warehouse or data lakes are raw and unstructured. I hope it is clear to you. Let's see the next service what we have. Azure Machine Learning Service. We will talk about in one line. Azure Machine Learning Service is a platform for making predictions. It's normally used to make predictions. It consists of tools and services that allow you to connect to data to train and test models to find one that will most accurately predict a future result. on the basis of current situation, we need to predict the future result out of any data. So in this case, what happened? So it's like a platform which use the test data, and it will create one module that will be used for predict the future results. That is what we have in machine learning. In general, if we will talk about the cloud perspective, it's a cloud based environment which can help us to develop, train, test, deploy, manage, and track machine learning model. So it's a cloud based solution, or we can say cloud based environment. If we will talk about the editions, we have two editions available for this one. One is basic, another is enterprise. In the basic edition, it offers only to access machine learning software development keys and notebooks. What it offers? Machine learning SDK, that is software development keys and notebooks. And this enterprise edition offers the features of basic edition. Also, it adds many additional features including visual designers. So in this one, we can visually design these modules as well. So normally what we can do with the Azure machine learning, so we can create a process that can define how we can obtain data, how we can handle the missing data, how we can split the data into a training sets or trainer sets or test set, what we use for this one, these models. Also we can train and evaluate predictive models by using tools and programming languages. Here we use the high level programming language, those are Python and R. We can also deploy the best performing algorithm as an application programming interface, that is API. So these are the things we can do with the Azure machine learning. I hope it is clear, and I know that this is enough for the exam level. We need to understand that Azure machine learning service is used for prediction, to make any prediction. How we can make the prediction? For that we require the test data, or we can say training data. Let's talk about next service. Next service we have cognitive service. Azure Cognitive Services provides pre-built machine learning model that enables applications to see, hear, speak, understand, and even begin to reason. Also, cognitive service brings AI within the reach of every developer without requiring or without knowledge of machine learning expertise. So this is normally a very good service, we can say. Now the thing is, what Azure Cognitive Service can help. So it helps to solve general problem like analyzing text from the emotional statements, we can say, or emotional sentiments, or it can helpful for analyzing the images to recognize objects or faces in the image. So this service can be used for that purpose. So how it is different from the Azure machine learning? In Azure machine learning, what we need? We need to bring our own data, then we will create the trained models over that data. But in Azure Cognitive Service, in most of the cases, it provides pre-trained models, so we no need to bring our own data and to get prediction. We can do the prediction on the live data. So now we will talk about the categories within Azure Cognitive Service. We have four categories. language service, speech service, vision service, decision service. Let's talk about one by one. If we will talk about the language service, it allow us, or we can say it's allow our application to process natural language with pre-built scripts. If we'll talk about the speech service, that converts your text into natural sound speech. If we'll talk about the vision service, it helps to add recognition and identification capabilities whenever we need to analyze pictures, videos, and or other visual content. So it helps to analyze the object from those data. In the last, we have the decision service. Decision service add personalized recommendation for each user that automatically improve each time they are used. It also helps to moderate content to monitor and remove offensive or risky content. Let's talk about next service, Azure Bot Service. What is Azure Bot Service? It's a platform for creating virtual agent that understand and reply to questions just like a human. As you know, right now we have many solution available in the market. Whenever you access any web page, there is suddenly one pop-up came, how may I help you? That pop-up is just a kind of work like an agent, which is having some specific question and answer inbuilt there. Whatever you will ask, they have the predefined answer for that one, and they will that can be used to gather the information from the client or from the customers. Normally we use for that purpose, but it analyze few things as well, like it will understand your behavior, what kind of question you will put, it understand everything. So it uses AI, artificial intelligence, and it will check your question, accordingly it will answer you. So Azure What Service is a bit different from Azure Machine Learning and Azure Cognitive Service in that it has a specific use case. Okay, so Azure Bot Service, what it do, it provides integrated environment that is purpose built for bot development. So what are those bot is? Normally if we will talk about the bot itself, it provides an experience that feels like we are using computer, and more like it's dealing with the persons, and at least an intelligent robot, we can say. Whenever we interact with those pop-ups, we understand, okay, whatever we will ask, they will be able to answer us. So that is the Azure Bot Service. It's like a robot kind of that will answer it. So human interaction kind of things. For that purpose, we have the Azure Bot Service. It uses the, in perspective to the exam, we need to understand that Azure Bot Service run on Azure App Service. So what are the things we require for Azure What Service? Artificial intelligence, cognitive service, Azure App Service. These are the required component for Azure Bot Service. So if we will talk about in terms of cost, whenever we run the Azure Bot Service, we are dealing with the Azure App Service, so we have to pay cost for this as well. Now we have the serverless. What exactly the serverless is? Serverless refers to a deployment model in which users are responsible for only their application code and configuration. That means that we are not worried about the underlying infrastructure. That serverless does not mean that there are no servers. Yes, that I already explained to you. But the thing is, to understand more about it, to run any code, in general, we require some infrastructure. Means we require compute, we require storage, we require network to run. But however, here it is not visible to the customers. We are not. That means it is running on that one, but we just need to concentrate on our application code and the configuration. Whenever it needs, we will execute that code and our function or the logic will run on that one. If we will talk about the serverless, we have two things. One is Azure Function and we have Logic Apps. These are the two services offered by Azure, Azure Function and Logic Apps. Let's see both of them one by one. Azure Function. As I mentioned, Azure Function is an event-driven serverless compute service. So it's a compute component. Whenever we talk about the compute resources in any cloud provider, so serverless, this Azure Function, in Azure we have Azure Function, in AWS we have AWS Lambda, in Oracle Cloud we have Oracle Function. So these all comes under compute resources. That means that we can use these functions to write codes, and we no need to worry about the underlying infrastructure. We just need to focus on creating the code and the configuration part. Now the things is how we can create these functions. Okay, so in Azure we have Microsoft Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, Java function apps, Python commands line for Python function apps. We have Azure command line interface as well on Windows and Linux, and we have the Azure portal as well, from where we can create our Azure function, or we can say the function app, whatever this Azure function use, are serverless, but it also run on Azure App Service. But sometimes what happens, you want to create your own infrastructure, this service. On top of that, you want to configure your function. In that case, you need to pay for this Azure App Service. In general, we no need to pay for this one. Let's talk about second serverless service, that is Logic Apps. Logic Apps is a serverless workflow offering from Azure. Logic Apps help us to build a business process and workflow solution with easy using the Azure portal. So here we no need to write anything. It's like working as a workflow model. We just need to create the workflow and we need to define the events out of that, after which event which action need to be taken care on the basis of logics. So this is event driven, means once one event is occurred, then the action will be taken care. So we need to inbuild the logic there in the workflow. Accordingly, it will trigger. Now let's talk about next service. Here we will talk about the Azure DevOps service. Azure DevOps is a software as a service platform from Microsoft that provides an end-to-end DevOps toolchain for developing and deploying software. See, if you will talk about the DevOps itself, Dev is for developer, Ops is for operations. So it is for the guys who is having the knowledge of development as well as the operations. If we will talk about more about Azure DevOps, Azure DevOps provides developer services for support teams to plan work, collaborate on code development, and build and deploy the application. So here, in as a DevOps engineer, we plan the code, we prepare the code, we need to deploy the code, as well as we need to manage that code. So everything need to be done by these DevOps engineer. So normally Azure DevOps is made up of multiple services. What are those services in Azure? We have Azure Board, Azure Repos, Azure Pipelines, Azure Test Plans, Azure Artifacts. I saw few questions out of these. Okay, so let's see what we have. If we will talk about the Azure Boards, Azure Boards is a visual way to manage and track work for your team. Okay, it's a visual dashboard kind of. Next, we have Azure Repos, that is source and version control. So for versioning, we use this Azure Rep. I saw one question from this, so you can expect. Azure Pipelines, it's used to manage software releases through build, test, and release automation. So for build, test, and release automation. Next, we have Azure Test Plans, which is used to create and track tests. So it is used for create and track a test which is need to be performed to ensure reliable software release. In the last, we have Azure Artifacts. Azure Artifact, okay, so it uses popular feeds from both public and private sources. Let's talk about next service, that is Azure DevTest Labs. Azure DevTest Labs helps quickly create on-demand Windows and Linux environment to test or demo application directly from the deployment pipeline. So DevTest Labs creates lab consisting of pre-configured bases or ARM templates. That means if you need to create, suppose for testing purpose you require some number of resources like 20 virtual machine you need to create every week. Okay, for every week for testing your application. So in this case we use Azure DevTest Labs, and you will definitely get questions from this particular topic whenever they ask like 20 machine you need to create, 30 machine or 50 machine you need to create every week. So in this case, we will use Azure DevTest Labs. In the last, we have quiz. Let's see. This is the simple quiz which I taken from the Azure learning portal. Let's go through these questions just to brush up our concept if we are good or not. You need to predict future behavior based on previous action. Which product option should you select as a candidate? So which component we have? Azure Machine Learning, Azure Bot Service, or Azure Cognitive Service. So in this case, we have Azure Machine Learning that use previous action on the basis of it you to learn. So here our answer is Azure Machine Learning. Let's talk about next. You need to create a human computer interface that uses natural language to answer customer question. Which product option should you select as a service? Azure Machine Learning, Cognitive Service, or Azure Bot Service? So we know that for human interaction we use Azure Bot Service. In the last, you need to identify for content of product images to automatically create all tags for images formatted properly. Which product option is the best candidate? In this case, we have the option machine learning, cognitive service, or bot service. So the answer for this one is Azure Cognitive Service, that is used for recognition. As we already see, there are 4 services involved, right? Speech, and we have vision. So this is here they are talking about for images we need to check visualize it. So here we have the answer Azure Cognitive Service. So that's it we have in this video. Thank you for watching. See you in next video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, then click on like button, subscribe to this channel for more related content in future. Thank you very much for watching. See you in next video.